Hi, this is Matt from Skybow. You would like to display documents on your SharePoint forms or processes? Then Skybow has the right control for you. We've built a file view control to be added easily to your modern forms.
We created a new control for our modern forms that you can easily add to all your forms, new form, edit form, display forms. It's available in the control section, and you can show any kind of document which is stored somewhere in SharePoint. So that's the main thing. And here we are basically using the SharePoint out-of-the-box file viewer, so it really supports all possible file types. Yeah, and there are some usage scenarios why we've built that control, especially for the forms, and 3 usage scenarios I have here. Maybe there are definitely a couple more, but there are 3 that I will mention today. One is really to show a static file somewhere, and in my scenario I will show that file in a panel, but yeah, you can think of any file, doesn't matter, maybe a calculation, an Excel spreadsheet somewhere on the form, maybe on the right side, or like I'm doing here, that you can press a button to see some more details about maybe a process, or you just want to have a Word or PDF document with some guidelines for the process or for the form to fill out. So that's really just a file without any logic. Show the file and write from the form. That's the one scenario. Another one is if you upload a file, especially when we talk about sublibraries. As you know, you can also place sublibraries on Skybow forms. And if you want to upload, let's say drag and drop or upload a file, and you want to see that file and directly take some of the information from the file and put it into the metadata of the file. So what we see here is the edit form of the document that I'm uploading. In our case, it's the expense process. So you upload your expense files, and then you directly see the detailed information about the expense, which is much easier to fill out than having it maybe separate in a separate window. So you can see it, you can copy it. I will show you that one in the demo afterwards. And last but not least is to show dynamically the file that is selected from a sublibrary. So let's say you have a document library again on the form, and of course right now you can double click it and it will open up in another tab in the file viewer from SharePoint. But here with our control we can make it as a preview. So you can, each file you select, we show the preview here on the right side, just as an example. So these are the 3 scenarios: dynamically selected file, a file that is uploaded, or just any static file, PowerPoint, PDF, Excel, whatever, to show it somewhere on the form, on a process. All right, I have one scenario prepared, or yeah, all 3, but all in one solution. And as always, I'm taking our expense case, and here I prepared a June expense. So this month I already have one file in here, and first the static file, that is what I have built in up here just using a button. Just as an example, you can have it up here, or you can show the file directly if you have enough space. Doesn't matter. In my case, I show a panel. So if I press that button to have more detailed information, I open up a panel, and the panel just shows the file itself. So it's a form which only has that file viewer control to have a detailed explanation of the process. So I can show it, I can close it, I will stay on the form. That is the first scenario that I was talking about. The second one, if you upload a file, is if you upload it here, or if you simply use drag and drop. So let me grab an example file. So I will drag it. It's uploaded. After uploading, the form will open up automatically. And this is the edit form with some metadata. We see the information here on the right side. So that's our panel. And from here, I can also copy and paste the information. So I could paste it over here. Say, okay, that was in back in June 27 for sales, and it was 107.7 Swiss franc paid by credit card, 7.7. Save it. Oops, expense type is food. And we have it down here in the list. And that was scenario 2. And if we go to scenario 3, is to show that in the preview here on the right side. So if there's no file selected, then we say there is no file to preview. That's if nothing is there. And if I select the file, it will load the preview. It should load the preview. Come on. So here, it loads the preview, and we see the file again. And we can go through the different files. This one is just an empty test file, but you can see you can switch between the files, and the preview is loaded automatically. So now let's have a look into the backend, how this is done. If we go to Solution Studio, in the first use case, I just added a button. So it's a normal button control. This one, button with action. And the only thing I'm doing here is I open up a form. And the form, here I made a little trick. I created another display form. And we see them here. We have some additional forms. So we have the default display new and edit form, and we have some more in that template. And this one is the additional display form. I just created it with a plus here and said display form, not as a default, gave it a name, this detailed process. And this one I will open up. Theoretically, I can also use a new form, whatever, because if the display form, I have to pass an ID. Yeah. So I open it in a panel, in large panel, and that's this one here. If I open up that one, by default, I would see all the columns, and I just deleted them. So here I just removed the whole row. I added a new one, and pressing the plus, we have the file viewer control here. If you add the file viewer control in the settings, you see these two options. You can have a static path where you can just upload a file. That's what I did in my case. I uploaded this PDF file. Or you can also select the file from an existing library. So if you select the file, yeah, you could choose from the libraries that are available on that site. What I did, I uploaded the file, and For you to know this file is uploaded automatically into the assets. So if you choose upload, then we upload it to assets. And we reorganize this asset part a little bit. Before it was called images. Now it's called assets. And images is just a subfolder. And we have files. And these files are used for the file viewer. So here it is uploaded. And that's important because we will package these files and folders, and we'll make sure that the links to these files will work also once you deploy it somewhere else. So that's the file. It's stored here, and going back, I simply said upload it, static file. Let's go back. So here, and the only thing that we can define is a starting page. So if it's a Word file or a PDF file, we can set a start page. And yeah, that's, for my case, it's just one, which is the default. But you can also, yeah, calculate something else. But that's the only thing I have to configure here. Just a static file uploaded, and it will be visible on that display form that I'm opening as a panel. So that's the scenario one. Pretty simple, straightforward. The second one, when we upload the file, so down here, when I upload a file, we show the edit panel, and that's done in the combination of two things. First of all, if I go to my expense display form, that's where I uploaded the file. In the documents, in the document library, there is one setting that is important that it will work. And that's these settings here. So previously we had this, so this is there for years. So we can open up the edit form after uploading. But here we also, that's a new option that we had to add, that the file is really saved before you open up the edit form, because otherwise the file is not really uploaded. If you have it like this, then we open up the edit form, but the file is not yet there. That's why we cannot show it. So the preview would also always be empty. It will not work like this. But if you press cancel, the file would not be uploaded. And in our case here, if I say save the file before open the edit form, so in the combination of these two, you see it's gone if you don't have that activated. If you have it activated to show the edit form, then we should save the file before. Just make sure that here we really trigger background actions on this sub library. So on this, in that case, it's receipts. So there, it's really on uploading. There will be a trigger which is executed. And if you press cancel and you don't fill out the properties, it's still there without any properties. So that's the let's say the downside of that approach. But that's the only way to show the file once uploaded. So this is to be configured on the sublibrary, and then on the sublibrary itself, on the edit form, because that's the form that is open here. I just set two columns. In the left column, I've added all my properties, and in the right column, the file viewer again. And here, I was using the dynamic path. And the dynamic path is pretty simple because the file ref, that's this property here. Just use the file ref, which returns site or tenant relative path, and that will work. So file ref, and that's it. So it's always the file from the current file that where we have the edit form, and that's why we need to have it stored in the SharePoint library. Otherwise, it will not work. And again, start page, just one. So those are pretty easy, straightforward, I think. Now the last example was when I select a file in the sublibrary. So we go back to my expense display form, and then here we scroll down, we see again 2 columns. On the right side I added this preview, on the left side I have the sublibrary. Now this one should get the file path from the selected item. That is a little bit of code, but we have an example, or it's all documented. So what we are doing, we get from the sublibrary, which is available here in the context, because we've added that sublibrary, we can get, the only thing you have to change here is your own sublibrary name, but the rest will stay, sublists and selected items. So we get the selected items, and then we check if there is an item, etc. And then we get this FSOB type. Or we check if that's not one, because one would be a folder. And then we return the first selected file, again, the file ref. And like I said, there is, if you Google for file viewer, skybow file viewer, you will get to that documentation, which describes this control. You can also see that it's available for 2019 server and SE with some limitation. So only some file types are supported, and you need to configure the Office online server for this control to work properly. But down here in the example section, we have these 2 examples, one for the edit form to show the file, and the second one is the one I was showing. So with this selected library, and here you can copy and paste. The only thing is make sure to change this sublibrary name to your name. The rest you can simply copy and paste into the field as an expression, function expression. So like here as a function expression, not an assignment, because it's it's a code snippet. Paste it in and it should work already.
I hope I was able to show you how you can configure and use the skybow file viewer control and leverage all of its possibilities.